Hey, what's up guys, it's Phil Trigger, and today I want to show you another deck profile. This time it's a Kagebros slash Spec deck, and I call it Kagebros. The thing I like about this deck is that it's super aggressive, but it's also very defensive in its own special way. I'll explain later in the video when I'm done with everything, and yeah, let's get started. So the trigger lineup right now is 4 heal, and count them, 4, 8, so 4 plus 8 is 12. 12 crits in total. It runs a high number of crits just because there's no better option in the deck. And it's a mixed deck, so it needs to get things done fast as possible. And 12 crits just does like a little mind game on the opponent. It really freaks them out into guarding more often than they should, which works out in my favor. Then we have for our grid G1, 4 Kimnara, 2 Bar, 4 Wonder Boy, 2 Dan, and 2 Cyclone Blitz. 4 Kimnara because the main Vanguard in this deck is Overlord. If I have Overlord, I can freely use Kimnara to get rid of my opponent's back row and forcing them to commit more to the field. 4 Dan is a basic beater. 2 Bar is a basic beater. 2 Cyclone Blitz because I figured that this deck it doesn't Soul Blast as much as normal Spike Brothers do, but it still does a good amount. But Soul Charging with Kimnara does help it out. But with Cyclone, it just works as well as a good backup. Just move it to the front, call a Dan or a Bar behind it, and boom, go for a nice little push. And then 2 Dan, simply because I can search it out with the starter, which is Mecha Trainer. And I mean, I only use 2 because I only use it when I'm going to go for my game-winning push or just a good push overall. You don't need to commit it early game, just when you're about to use it. So it's kind of the same way as Kimnara. You can commit it, but it's best not to. Then our G2 lineup is 3 Panther, 4 Nahalem, basic 10k beaters, and 4 Bracky. Everybody knows I love Bracky. It's one of my favorite units simply because it's so good in any deck. It's so splashable. But it really shines in this deck because it can really be abused with Dan and the other lineups I have. Then we have our G3 lineup, which is 2 Skydiver, 2 Juggernaut, and 4 Overlord. The reason I'm on such a low G3 count for the Spike Brothers, only 2 and 2, is because I can always call them out with Dan. Juggernauts, I can call them out as much as I want because they always return to the deck. But, I mean, Skydiver doesn't really go off as much. People will know that if I'm trying to attack something, more often than not, they will guard against it, which is good because it does force out guards more easily. People think I'll try to go for like a Juggernaut out of my hand or something else, and they'll usually guard it even if I'm not intending to use his effect right there and then. For Overlord, because he's the main heart of the deck, he's the designated Vanguard, as Pesci would put it, and his effect is just amazing as a rear guard, but I used him all just be good aggressive beaters. Now if you notice, every one of these units has 11k as their base. Now this is the the defensive aspect of the deck. If you guys have seen my game theory video about walling, you'll know that a high number base monster will be harder to hit. 11, 11, and 11. If my opponent has just 10Ks, they can't really hit it without backing it up. That's why I have the Kimnaras to get rid of that issue. And it forces them to commit more. While I can be as aggressive as I like with their lower defense, and I can easily just take advantage of it. The deck is designed to be very aggressive, but also very defensive because of my main beaters and my trigger lineup. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little deck profile. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.